Hello NCAC sports fans and welcome back to another episode of The Rundown. On this week's show we'll highlight an outstanding week from Hiram volleyball player Lindsey Walker, an overtime game winner in field hockey by the Kenyon Ladies, and a pair of football games on Saturday that featured completely different styles of play. We'll open the show by heading down to Hiram, Ohio, where freshman setter Lindsey Walker played a vital role in leading the Terriers volleyball squad to their first two league wins of the season last week against Oberlin and Worcester. After tallying 21 assists, 13 digs, and 7 kills in the comeback win over Oberlin, the Akron, Ohio native came just 1 kill shy of recording a triple-double in the 3-1 win over Worcester, with 9 kills, 20 assists, and a career-high 31 digs. And while Walker's primary role has been as the setter this season for the Terriers, she also finished the two-match stretch with 16 kills and just 3 hitting errors in 33 total attempts for a .394 hitting percentage. NCAC volleyball squads return to the floor this week with 8 league matches on the slate, highlighted by a battle for first place tonight, October 17th, as DePaul will host Wittenberg in Greencastle for a 7 p.m. start. Let's now shift our attention to NCAC field hockey action, where Kenyon has grabbed sole possession of first place in the league standings following a pair of wins last week over Earlham and DePaul. For the second week in a row, the Kenyon Ladies found themselves in a tightly contested defensive struggle in Gambier. However, this time the Ladies would come out on top against DePaul as senior forward Caitlin Hutchinson fired in this shot off a corner opportunity at the 23:07 mark of the first half for what will go down as the game-winning tally against the Tigers. Hutchinson was then named the NCAC Field Hockey Player of the Week after she also tallied the game winner against Earlham on Saturday early in the first on this drive from the left side of the box. And finally, we'll close out this week's show out on the gridiron by highlighting a monster performance on the ground from Hiram senior Danny Robinson in the Terrier 62-56 shootout win at Kenyon, and by showcasing an interesting game in Crawfordsville that saw Ohio Wesleyan top Wabash by a 16-13 margin in a contest that saw the Kickers account for 23 of the 29 total points. First, Hiram senior running back Danny Robinson led an offensive explosion against the Lords on Saturday as he posted his second straight 200-yard rushing game, this time racking up 220 yards and 4 touchdowns on just 23 carries. Robinson gave the Terriers a 28-14 advantage late in the second quarter on this 47-yard run down the near sideline, and he all but put the game away late in the fourth quarter after he busted through the line and broke off this 75-yard sprint to the left pylon for a touchdown. And in Crawfordsville on Saturday, defense and special teams were the deciding factor in OWU's narrow 3-point win over Wabash. We'll open the highlights in the third quarter, where the Bishops took a 13-6 lead with 8:39 on the clock on this 29-yard field goal off the foot of sophomore Anthony Sanfilippo. However, the Little Giants tied the game at 13 just 3 minutes later on this wacky play that saw Skylar Narig recover his own blocked field goal try and scamper into the end zone from 24 yards out for the score. The Bishops responded by capping off a 12-play 76-yard drive late in the fourth quarter with this 20-yarder off the foot of Sanfilippo to go up 16-13, and then they capped off the win on the final play of the game as Kyle Hogan broke through the line and blocked Narig's attempted game-tying field goal try to seal the upset victory for the Bishops. And NCAC football teams return to the field on Saturday with 5 league games on the slate, and that's highlighted by a battle for first place in the league standings as the 2 unbeaten squads, DePaul and Wittenberg, will square off in Greencastle for a 1 p.m. kickoff. And as always, NCAC sports fans, For up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. Well, that puts a wrap on this week's show, but be sure to join us again next week for another edition of The Rundown.